And let's take a check then on Galway's lineup. One change on the team from the side that began the semi-final against Derry. Shea Walsh, a minor here in 1993, gets to start ahead of the more experienced Fergal Gavin. Realistically, there's been one spot up for grabs in the Galway attack in the last few matches, and the number 12 is the lucky one this time. Ja Fallon on the 40 is playing in his 21st championship match, while the most experienced man in their ranks is the cornerback, Tomás Mannion, playing for Galway today in the championship for the 27th time. So Glenn Ryan and his side held down towards hill 16. And let's now take a check on the Kildare side for the afternoon. And the unlucky one, of course, is Ronan Quinn. He's forced out of the match because of an injury. And coming in to take his place, as we know, it's Seamus, better known as Sauce Dowling. He'll wear number 17. We've heard that the number 5 and number 6 want to change their jerseys because of a bit of good luck. So John Finn today wears 5. He may be the one to start at full back. And Anthony Rainbow will play with a number 7 on his back. And of course, Ken Doyle, highly versatile football, all a recall to the number 4 shirt. And Niall Buckley fit to resume in midfield. It's Glenn Ryan's 21st championship match, while the most battle-hardened of them all is Martin Lynch, with 22 championship outings to his credit. And the 109th All-Ireland final gets underway. And straight away into midfield, it's Niall Buckley, known as Nuxer to his pals, leaving it for William McCreary. A huge one down towards Pádraig Graven. Palmed away there just momentarily. McCormack was in quickly after, seems to have switched wings. This is Graven here, tight enough angle, kicking hopefully, and that one has gone to the left. First attack, failing to produce a score for Pádraig Graven. Down towards Derek Savage. Crowd roaring on their encouragement, dropping it in there towards Pádraig Joyce. Joyce having this chance to put Galway ahead, and he's put it over the bar. First point of the All-Ireland final scored by Pádraig Joyce. Galway get off to the better start. Very much an individual score, taking it away there from his man, who is John Finn this afternoon, and that went over the bar. Rainbow, Niall Buckley. Big loss in the semi-final. Again, it's Martin Lynch going across there, and Tomás Mannion. They said he might have his hands full this afternoon against the likes of Martin Lynch. He's such a good player. Look how deep Michael Donlan has come. On for Kevin Walsh. A real tear-away play, this. That's a great movement. Michael Donlan right through the heart of the Kildare defence. Laying it off here for Derek Savage. Savo playing it outside to Sean Old, the player. And that has gone over the bar. Christy Byrne is objecting, but Sean Old, the player, has come forward and hit an absolutely wonderful point. Well, he's always good for a point or two, as we know, in championship matches. But what about the movement? What about Michael Donlan's role? And, of course, also support play the whole time from several players. And an excellent finish. Niall Buckley, incidentally, has had his name taken in the last couple of seconds. Well, Christy Byrne was certainly objecting to that particular score, but it looked an absolutely valid point from here. Dermot Earley trying to make amends for the one that got away. Bypassing Glenn Ryan. Buckley. A bit slow in getting away here. Fouled by Sean O'Donnell. This is Dermot Earley playing as a third midfielder towards Martin Lynch. Fetches well. Good layoff towards Eddie McCormack. Oh, a high and hopeful one. And another bad miss by Kildare. Disappointed Kildare fans with the start that their side has made in this particular match. That's Dively. Now Neil Finnegan taking on Brian Lacey. Finnegan checking his stride. Curling one beautifully in. Ken Doyle did well, tuck it away from Savage. That was dangerous. Out as far as Kerrigan, such a very intelligent number 11. Playing very deep, been given a lot of latitude by his manager, but he's using it very wisely. This is nicely out to Rainbow. Almost a dispossession there with Pádraig Joyce, the player involved. Here comes William McCreary. Great ball down along the line to Martin Lynch. Ready to change direction time and again and bring Tomás Mannion all over the place. Lynch looking to try and get Kildare's first score. There was a good block there by Mannion. Finally out by Silk. Now Kevin Walsh. A strong man in midfield. Nicely on there towards Ja Fallon. Ja challenged not once but twice. Glenn Ryan doing well. No real indication of that injury troubling him so far. Played forward by Buckley. Mannion gets it away. This is Sean O'Donnell. Dively. Another very good block that time, taking the sting out of that one. Nicely taken up here by Michael Donnellan. He's a terrific footballer, coming forward, looking for another score for Galway. And that's another one. He raises his arms in delight. Michael Donnellan deserved that. It's the second superb run that he's made through the middle. And this one yields a score for the man from Dunmore MacHales. Well, all the family and all the people in Dunmore would be very pleased to see this. It was a tremendous run forward by Michael Donnellan, and that sailed over the crossbar for point number 3. This, the block just moments ago here. Mannion doing just enough, and Silk perfectly positioned. Anthony Rainbow, by the way, has been switched on to Michael Donnellan in a switch in the last couple of seconds. McCreary from McCormack. This is a good situation, and that's gone over the bar. Well, it's taken 13 minutes for Kildare's first score, but Eddie McCormack finally made it. Well, as we know from past form, he tends to run across the field more than directly taking his man on. Today he's doing a bit more of the direct stuff, and that was a wonderful kick from some distance. So Kildare finally get off the mark as Willie McCreary was setting up the opportunity, and in the end it was McCormack from Clane who scored. Well, that should do the Kildare confidence a lot of good. Not a particularly great kick out this time either by the other goalkeeper, Martin McNamara, but it reaches Michael Donnellan. I think the tactic is to try and keep it out of the middle, where there's a feeling, of course, that Kildare are so strong in the air. Mobile players, the likes of Buckley and McCreary in particular, and Early quite capable of going back in there to take vital possession. It's a huge one in towards Martin Lynch. He's in after it, and it's a save on the goal line by McNamara. That was close. Martin Lynch almost getting inside the cover there of Gary Fahy. McCreary comes to leap, but he leaves it behind to Ja Fallon. Fallon from Tuam Stars, nobody marking him. Lacey slow to get in, and there's a man in support. And it's well taken in the end after all of that by John Finn. But there was a glorious chance of a goal at one end and another at the other. Here's McCormack, lobbing it forward towards Pádraig Graven, trying to hand pass it to one of the runners coming through. Kerrigan was hit with a hard shoulder by Tomás Meehan. It's still Kerrigan, challenged by Meehan again. Back to Lynch. This is Pádraig Graven. Well, Dermot Earley was waiting in there. He was almost inside the small rectangle, and Galway get away with it. A lot of goal opportunities in this match. This is the Choir, one of the scorers so far in the game. Sean O'Donnell lobbing it down, hopefully really, and Glenn Ryan perfectly positioned. Now Ken Doyle providing the assistance, getting it away from Savage. Here's McCormack once more. A run forward being made by the number 17, Sos Dowling. Still McCormack. Now Glenn Ryan. Again, some isolation inside there, and it's working out well. McCreary's forward, and there's support from Early, and it's in. Finally, a goal does come. Dermot Earley, the goal scorer. Suddenly, Kildare fans break the decibel level. It was wonderful positioning here. McCreary coming forward, and the diving figure of Dermot Earley to slot it into the back of the net. There it is, and Kildare have taken the lead. Well, they'll watch it again and again and again. This is Shea Walsh doing a little solo, holding it up for Dupuer to come forward again. It's one aspect of this game that he really loves, the Galway number 7, dragging down Niall Buckley. And the referee has noted the offence. I think once that happens again, there could well be a booking. Buckley sending it in towards that Galway defence, and it's Declan Kerrigan kicking it high and putting it over the bar. He's out there to try and pick up the little pieces that come his way occasionally, and he has now put 2 points between the teams. A simple, straightforward tactic of anticipating as the free was going in. Tomás Mannion knocking it out, but waiting there. Kildare's number 11, and you know the rest. Back here again towards Tomás Meehan. This is Pádraig Joyce. McCormack trying to get in the challenge, so too John Finn. Still Pádraig Joyce looking for another score. Galway really needs something. Donnellan may be the provider. He was a little off balance as he was hitting it, never connected properly. Nothing quite like that memorable point he scored early in the game, and there are now 5 Galway wides. Well, Galway's last score, you know, was in the 13th minute of this match, so now gone 11 minutes without a Galway score. Now Anthony Rainbow, Niall Buckley. Again, the Lily Whites come foraging. McCreary doing a little 1-2 with Anthony Rainbow. Martin Lynch against Tomás Mannion. Lynch has the capacity certainly to cause many, many headaches for the Galway backline. But Galway get it back through Shea Walsh. An ambitious one across towards Michael Donnellan, rising up for it. Broken ball. Won back here again by Kildare. Lacey getting that ball away. And inevitably it's Niall Buckley who will come deep, make himself available. McCormack coming away off his man Dupoire. Here's Kerrigan. Divilly now finally trying to dispossess him. Did well. O'Donnell's first touch not great, trying to pick that ball up. Gets it the second time. Michael Donnellan again, terrific footballer. Players calling for it. Ja Fallon wants it, gives a return once more to Michael Donnellan, holding up the point of the attack against Anthony Rainbow. The angle tight, the kick good, and it sails over the bar. That's the second point for Michael Donnellan. You just feel of the men I mentioned at the beginning, Donnellan, Fallon and Finnegan, this is the player who is really in form. Delighted young Galway fans, pleased to see their side edge within a point of Kildare. And it really was a fine score. Michael Donnellan getting that ball back, doing a little solo run, showing his trickery against Rainbow, but a masterful finish. Christy Byrne going short, this time to try and pick out Willie McCreary. Over the head of Pádraig Raven, it hasn't really made an impression so far. Carol O'Dwyer also striving to get into the match, and that'll do nicely from a Kildare point of view. He taps it over the bar. He's only been on the ball, I think, twice in the game so far, but one of those occasions nearly produced a score, and this one certainly does. So a tight match then, as always expected. 1-3 to 4 points. Kildare leading by 2. Carol O'Dwyer having the better of his tussle here with Gary Fahy. Lovely little chip onto the top of the bar and over. Martin McNamara has had a fantastic year with Corofin and Galway. Back at the venue where on St Patrick's Day, race Silk led Corofin to victory. Shea Walsh now hoping that Silk will have the same honour this afternoon. Niall Buckley, a long, long way to go yet. Getting it back from McCreary into the space. And Mannion gets there well. It may be difficult to get out ahead of your man when your man is Martin Lynch, but he just got a little touch on it. Out as far as Michael Donnellan. High up into the air. Glenn Ryan comfortably under it. Locating Niall Buckley. 4 minutes to go to the break as Graven sets up Carol O'Dwyer. Looking for 2 in a row. He may have started quietly, but he really is now putting down a marker for the Galway backline. This is a player that simply has to be very vigilantly watched. Miko, his dad, will be delighted because he's put a goal between the teams, 1-4 to 4 points. Well, the point has been made time and again that this is a player who's made a big difference. He's come in and he's shown what he can do, and he scores regularly. One for the jumpers in midfield, fisted down by Buckley to the waiting Declan Kerrigan. Time and again he's won broken ball. Lynch transferring it back towards Kerrigan. A little run forward by McCreary, who's tracking him. Nobody at this stage. Nicely inside. Graven stumbled. Had he been able to stay on his feet and had the pass been inch perfect, there would surely have been a second goal there for Kildare. But that run by McCreary, neither of the two midfielders picked him up. That has to be a source of concern for John O'Mahony. He makes such good runs, selflessly laying off the ball on that occasion. Ja Fallon, lobbed outside here towards Neil Finnegan. Lacey trying to close it. Finnegan really taking it at his man. Holds it up really well. Strong play. That angle shot across. Walsh there, Joyce there as well. It's with Joyce. Still Porrick Joyce going in, looking for something out of this. Stopped by John Finn, won back by Christy Byrne. And Kildare breathe a sigh of relief. Niall Buckley getting it out once more towards Rainbow. Early, laying it back to Glenn Ryan. They go long towards McCormack, and they really have this Galway backline in real trouble time and again. McCormack kicking, that's a successful one, it's between the posts. Eddie McCormack with his second point of the day, delighted Kildare fans. But just when Galway might have got something through Porrick Joyce at the other end, Kildare had the confidence to build it up. They went long to McCormack. He took on the defence, and in particular Sean O'G, the player, and he belted it over the bar and between the posts. So far in this first half, which is now nearly into injury time, in fact it is into injury time, Kildare have established 15 chances. Galway have made 10 chances, and you can see the score: 6 scores for Kildare, 4 for Galway. 4 points the margin. Great catch by Sean O'Donnell. Laying it along the line down there towards Neil Finnegan. Derek Savage trying to steal inside Ken Doyle's cover, and he wins the free. It may have looked a bit clumsy, but the referee wasn't too far away from the action. And Derek Savage did really well to win that free kick. It's to be taken by Porrick Joyce, the left-footed kicker who got the first score of this game. Ken Doyle from Allenwood in Kildare going back. So over a minute of injury time has been played by referee John Bannon. Hill 16, full of Leinster fans because there's a mix in there of Kildare and Laois. I should remind followers who are watching it around the world that the minor match was won by Tyrone. They beat Laois by 2-11 to 11 points. That's kicked, and it's kicked over the bar. A second point then for Porrick Joyce, and that Galway man there trying to urge on the Galway team to even greater heights. It's won 5 to 5 points. Half-time has come in the 109th All-Ireland football final. Only one goal in the match so far, but many goal-scoring chances presenting themselves. And the goal that counted and came after 16 minutes was scored by the diving figure of Dermot Early, hoping to go one better than his dad in 1980. And here at Croke Park at half-time in the Bank of Ireland All-Ireland football final, it is Kildare who lead. They lead by 1-5 to 5 points. Seeing whether there are any possible switches or changes, don't see any so far. It is Buckley and McCreary in midfield for Kildare, Walsh and O'Donnell for Galway, and John Bannon gets the second half underway. And Niall Buckley, or Nuxer as they call him, fisting it forward. Willie McCreary laying it outside towards Eddie McCormack. Sean O'G, the player, marvellous at going forward, now called on to defend. McCormack going right across the field here. Kerrigan, Buckley coming in again on his left boot. Dermot Early was following it all the way in, did well. Really deceiving the Galway backline. Unable to swing that boot at it, however. McCreary was there in assistance, but Tomas Mannion with an excellent first half. Blocks. It's come back to Porrick Raven, yet to score in this match. McCormack shot straight into Martin McNamara. Kevin Walsh, the midfielder, has come very, very deep. Now John Divilly. Belting it way down towards Porrick Joyce. It's a Galway forward line with a more than usual number of left-footed players. Savage coming in on his left boot, and that has just gone to the left. It was close, but it seems that Kildare as a backline have done their defence very well, and time and again, as Brian Mullins looks on here, time and again the Kildare defence seemed to be able to force the Galway men as much as possible onto their right boot. This is one here by Tomás Meehan. Meehan from Caltra, laying one in there towards Ja Fallon. Against Glen Ryan, he's had problems getting really good possession in the game. Michael Donnellan, one of the stars so far in this Galway performance. Into the corner he goes. Savage switches wings. You see what I mean about him trying to get it onto the left. Fallon again. Hitting this one in, and that's gone over the bar. Ja Fallon, his first point, so he narrows the gap, delighting the fans down there at the Royal Canal end of Croke Park. That was an unerring finish by Ja Fallon. Now the Galway followers want to see a lot more of that. 2 points the difference. Savage set it up for him. Ja Fallon, quick throw the shoulder to the right, onto the left, and a beautiful finish. Both sets of followers getting right behind their team in this, what is always the match of the year. Kerrigan across towards McCormack, trying to link up there with Niall Buckley, didn't come for him. Instead it's Sean O'Dwyer to his team captain, Ray Silk. A big one in towards Joyce, great fielding by John Finn. A real authoritative figure back there in the Kildare defence this afternoon. McCormack, support inevitably from Anthony Rainbow. Graven was going low for that. Kevin Walsh leaving it there. And John Dively was trying to get away from his man, but fouled. That's a great ball. Donnellan inside towards Joyce, here's a chance! Galway surely will score here, and they do! Galway have got in front. Paul Joyce would have gone after just 4 minutes of the second half. It was a wonderful sweeping movement. It had pace, penetration and accuracy. And Joyce in the end was able to dodge around the defence and plunge it into the empty net. The second goal of the game, but a crucial one this time for Galway. Lovely combined play, marking slack, and Joyce dodged around Christy Byrne. And a wonderful finish. So Galway are in front by 1-6 to 1-5. John Dively here. Now they'll take tremendous encouragement from that score. Down to Joyce, getting away from John Finn, who's been playing brilliantly. Again, but this should have been a point. Instead it ends up in the goalkeeper's arms. Christy Byrne with a bad clearance out to Michael Donnellan. Back towards Neil Finnegan, shouldered by Ken Doyle. He's got support, Fallon's available. Finnegan kicking it, and it's put over the bar. A wonderful spell for Galway. Neil Finnegan gets it. That man is defiant. They're all defiant. They want to take back the Sam Maguire Cup west of the Shannon. The last time it was done was 1966. The end of the 3 in a row. And now Galway lead by 2. Again, they go very, very short. Ken Doyle. Good outlet pass that time to Brian Lacey. He's pushed by Sean O'Dwyer. Here's Rainbow. That's an excellent pass into the middle. Players in support if he can release it quickly. A lot of good runs have been made. That's nicely fetched. Great block down. Eddie McCormack, the one who was hitting that one, and it's come back in the end to Tomás Mannion. Lovely turn of direction by Kevin Walsh. That's his own 45-metre line. Ja Fallon trying to give the leadership on the 40. Quick throw of the shoulders onto the left boot. A huge one that's high, and it's over the bar. Ja Fallon's second point. Well, this is among the best football that Galway has played in this year's championship. Mick Byrne making the point. He's always been John O'Mahony's support sidekick, as it were, when John has been managing championship teams. 3 points between the teams. This was a fine individual display by Ja Fallon. The throw of the shoulders, deceiving his man. Christy Byrne kicking straight down the middle. Joe Fallon, his confidence is really sky high at this stage. Out to Michael Donnellan. Ready to take on Anthony Rainbow. And take on he is. His jersey was pulled. The referee seems to allow an advantage. Back towards Finnegan. Can they finish again in some style here? They most certainly can. A second point by Neil Finnegan. And right now it's Galway who look like champions. Well, that's right now, and there's still another 25, 26 minutes to go. Kildare definitely rattled. Michael Donnellan with the incision. The jersey hauled back. Good advantage allowed by referee John Bannon. Back to a man who really is in form, and straight between the posts. Neil Finnegan, the scorer. Taken down by Walsh, not contained, however. Spilled away again from Joe Fallon. Glenn Ryan. All of a sudden, Kildare 4 points behind. Looking to put one on the boards themselves to the second half as McCormack goes through. A great incision there by Eddie McCormack, drawing the free kick. Eddie was thinking about taking it quickly, but I think wiser counsel prevails. Well, Pádraig Graven might well have taken the free. Instead, it's entrusted to the man who has subbed for him. That's Pádraig Brennan. Brennan from Sarsfields, looking for Kildare's first score in the second half. He hits it well. It's over the bar. So Kildare begin to eat now into that Galway lead, and the margin down to 3 points again. 1-9 to 1-6. McNamara's kick out, trying to pick out one of his midfielders, Kevin Walsh. Chasing after him is McCreary. Good deep ball, great catch. Dermot Earley superb in the air. One of the real features of his game. Niall Buckley laying one down towards Brennan. Divilly checking his stride, stepping back in. Declan Kerrigan well aware of the tactic he'd employ. It's a great ball. Fallon bending his back, taking on Glenn Ryan. Right in the corner there. Savage coming, making himself available. And there was a little ankle tap there by Ken Doyle. It'll be a free to Galway. And Neil Finnegan, it seems, will be the one who'll come and hit it. And we noticed that down by the Kildare goal, there are a couple of players eyeing one another up. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's going to be Neil Finnegan to take this free kick for Galway. An important kick. It sails beautifully between the posts. 3 points now for Neil Finnegan. He's having a wonderful second half. Over 14 minutes gone in the half. Galway having the better of it, leading by 4. Dermot Earley, challenged by Pádraig Joyce. O'Donnell's there as well. Between them, they foul the Kildare man. It'll be a free downfield. Happy faces in the crowd watching Niall Buckley drop one in dangerously towards William McCreary. It bounces around. McCreary has it. That's an impossible angle, and just too impossible, even for William McCreary. He works so terribly, terribly hard. McNamara from Corofin going very short to Ray Silk. Outthinking the Kildare attack on that particular occasion. A real hit and hope one. But Joe Fallon trying to make something of it. In the end, it was Glenn Ryan who got a touch. Linesman Brian White from Wexford just wanting Fallon back into the correct position. Referees and linesmen have been very strict on that in this particular championship. That's a big one. That's a very, very good kick. That's over the bar. This man has the look of a winner. They're convinced. And that's a 3rd point for Joe Fallon. That was a tremendous kick. Accurate from the time it left his boot. And he opens up a 5-point gap. It's taken here by Dermot Earley. Trying to inspire his colleagues around midfield. Kildare with only 1 point in the second half so far. It's been frustrating for them. Here comes Eddie McCormack, really leading the charge right into the heart of that Galway defence. The players after him, and McCormack got to it in 20 metres of the Galway goal before being hauled down. This should be a routine kick. Pádraig Brennan about to take it. Scored with his first kick since coming on as a sub for Pádraig Graven. Pádraig Brennan, 2 out of 2 from frees. and they're Kildare's only scores in the second half. But it's still tight enough, and they're still in there with a chance. 4 points between the teams. The prize, the biggest cup, the most famous, most celebrated trophy in Irish sport, the Sam Maguire Cup. Won first of all by Kildare in 1928, but Galway right now ahead by 4 points. Midway through the second half. That's a wonderful catch by Joe Fallon. He's turning on the style here. It's real exhibition stuff by Joe Fallon in the second half. Donnellan ahead there for Kevin Walsh, looking for a next support player who is Sean O'Donnell. That's a good one. That's gone over the bar. O'Donnell did it in the semi-final. He's done it again in the final. Galway fans are celebrating already. It may be a bit premature, but they're delighted with the performance of their players in the second half, and O'Donnell's done it once again. But now the turn of the Leinster champions to get themselves a free kick. Dermot Earley taking it quickly to Niall Buckley. Can Kildare get motoring again? Not with this particular attack. It's Gary Fahy snuffing it out. Michael Donnellan, player with a big engine, runs all day. It's a great pass ahead. Savage going down, going inside, he's got the chance. Savage, it's a great stop by Christy Byrne. If that had gone in, I think it would have been curtains for Kildare. Byrne with a wonderful stop from Derek Savage. Still 5 points between them. Rainbow, a let-off for the Lily Whites. They're still in there with a chance, but they need some scores quickly. Martin Lynch, can he be the provider? Hasn't scored in the game to date. Dispossessed here. It comes forward to Donnellan once again. Joe Fallon ready to take on Glenn Ryan, clearly hampered in this particular occasion by that leg injury, dragging down his man. Free kick to Galway. Neil Finnegan, I'm sure, will take it, and it should be another point. And Brian Murphy being prepared over on the far side by Mick O'Dwyer, but they'll be looking to him if he comes in to do something like he did against Meath in the Leinster final. They need a goal. Finnegan composing himself, making sure that Glenn Ryan is the requisite distance away, reminding the referee. A nice kick, it sails over. 4 points for Neil Finnegan. An outstanding contribution. Happy fans for Galway all around Croke Park. Brian Murphy is about to come in, and I think it's Martin Lynch who's going off. It is. Martin Lynch then disappointed at having to come off. Brian Murphy will relish the opportunity of taking his chance of playing in the All-Ireland final. We got a quick glimpse there of Ronan Quinn as well. Those injuries to Quinn and clearly to Glenn Ryan as well, certainly they must be a factor, but Galway have simply turned it on. That's a great catch by Brian Murphy, back down to Brennan, and he's put it over the bar. The two second half subs combining, and Pádraig Brennan getting his 3rd point, the first from play. And this man here, I'm sure, having checked his watch, realising that with 11 minutes to go, there's still a bit of hope. 113 to 1-8. One Kildare goal, you know, and it could all turn around. We saw it the way it turned around when Galway scored. That was a great catch by Brian Murphy, down to Brennan, and a smashing score. O'Donnell rises, Early fists it back to Niall Buckley. Always a man to lift this team. Pádraig Brennan. Tomás Meehan has gone out after him. This is Buckley again. And that's gone over the bar. Niall Buckley, his first point of the match. He's working tirelessly. And the Kildare fans, well, they may be disappointed, but they still have hope. 4 points between the teams, and I think about 8 minutes to go. It was all the result of this wonderful run by Buckley. Having started it, he finished it in style, and straight over the bar. Carol O'Dwyer. I still remember those 2 fine points he scored in the first half, but nothing in the second. Declan Kerrigan in towards the full forward line, towards Brian Murphy, causing a problem here for the Galway defence. But when the ball is played in there fast, Galway's full back line has problems. This is Dermot Earley. Murphy was still ahead of him. It's back to Carol O'Dwyer, and Carol O'Dwyer has put it wide. After all of that hard work, Kildare now with 11 wides in this match. It's a big high tally, and there's only 5 minutes to go. Mick O'Dwyer with a resigned look on his face. John O'Mahony on the verge of a most glorious victory for Galway. Kildare, who were hit by injuries going into the match. Niall Buckley laying one on here for Glenn Ryan. Lovely ball to Dermot Early. Here's a late chance, and it's gone off a defender, and it's gone over the bar. And the defender in question was Tomás Meehan. It's one of those shots where you expected to see it buried in the top right-hand corner of Martin McNamara's goal. There are only 3 points between the teams. Now we're in for an edgy last few seconds here. This was that wonderful run through the centre by Dermot Early, and Meehan got the fingertips to it and over. McNamara, the match virtually into injury time. Picked up here by Clancy. Paul Clancy stopped by Sos Dowling. Back to Silk. Nicely across to Jar Fallon. Nice ball ahead again from Donnellan to Neil Finnegan. Into the corner to Sean Ove, the player. He looks for another point, and he's got another. And Galway now are surely the champions. A second point by Sean Ove, the player from Ancaharu Rua. How a wonderful match can change directions in just a couple of seconds. Remember that shot by Dermot Early? It could have gone into the net, that is. And then Galway would really have been breathing heavily, but they've come back themselves. And this is Neil Finnegan. They'll banish the memory today, it seems, of '83, the day when 14 could not beat 12 against the Dubs. Derek Savage couldn't quite keep it in play, but it's gone out, and Christy Byrne's got a replacement football, and he's ready to take the kick out quickly. Galway created 29 scoring chances, Kildare 26, but there are 4 points between the teams, and the white ribbons are already on the cup. The Sam Maguire, well, where is it going? Is it definitely going to Galway? Hang on a while. Rainbow has it. Kildare coming forward, they need a goal. Buckley belting it in towards Brian Murphy. What will Brian Murphy do? Gets a fish to it, off the post! Oh, that was so close. What a close shave that was. Kildare desperately frustrated and out of luck. The Moir are trying to keep the fans, the county board officials, everybody back, but Brian Murphy very nearly planted that. We've had a minute and a half of injury time already. This ambitious ball in here, in towards Brian Murphy. It's hit the post, it's gone out, but it's all over. And Galway are the All-Ireland champions for 1998. Galway have won their 8th All-Ireland final, captained by Ray Silk. And including in their ranks many stars. Mick O'Dwyer trying to congratulate the opposite man, John O'Mahony. O'Mahony's men have prevailed. It's Galway's day. And disappointed Kildare fans up on the hill, to their credit, they are staying in their places until the presentation is made. Ever the true sportsmen and women, Kildare salute the men of Galway, because Galway have done it. Everybody wanting a piece of the action on the day. Galway won back the Sam by 114 to 110. So Joe McDonough presents Sam to Ray. The West is truly awake. Galway are the All-Ireland football champions for 1998. What a day. What an occasion. Now remember when he last received the trophy, remember the length of the speech on that occasion. I think the Angelus will probably put back to 7 o'clock tonight. And look at the tears in the eyes. What an occasion. It's impossible not to be affected.
Winter Conlon Agariba. Winter Connaught. Point down in top the wire. Prison wall. I heard a young girl calling. My name taken you away. I was born to make it strong. Sorry, I'm
Yes, and so the Sam Maguire Cup is in the hands of the tribesmen tonight, and Galway are down the road from us here in the Montrose at the Burlington Hotel, where they are settling in nicely to the notion of being the All-Ireland champions. Well, we'll be meeting them later, but first let's consider the situation in the losing camp. Jim Carney is at Jury's Hotel to see how the day's disappointment is sitting on their...
Well, I know there isn't too much you can say to a team that loses All-Ireland. I know all about that. I was on losing teams as a player. I had losing teams as a manager and coach. But it's not hard to get up, I suppose, the first time and win an All-Ireland title. They always say you have to lose one before you win one. But that was a very good game of football today. At half-time, I thought we were in with a great, great chance. In the second half, for the 7-8 minutes just after half-time, I think that's the time when Galway won that All-Ireland. And I think they got a free just before the interval as well, when we were 4 points up, and it was the last kick of the first half. I think that had a big bearing also. It brought us back to within 3 points of them. But overall, I thought it was a great game of football today. Galway played marvellous football in the second half, good combined football, kicked some great scores. And they're a young side, and they're a side that'll be very hard to beat for a few years to come.
It's very, very disappointing. It's something that you always feared would happen, but you always had it.
Well, the analysis will go on for some time, and some of it is going to go on right now here in the studio. Tony, for a neutral, which obviously you were in this situation, was it a good game to watch? Was it a good occasion?
I thought it was a super game of football. I think it was a victory for direct football by both sides, Kildare and Galway. The whole occasion was fantastic. The Kildare crowd, I thought, were fantastic, the Galway crowd. The game was played in good spirit, and there was a feel-good factor about the whole day from the very start, with the Tyrone Miners winning. I don't think anybody would hold it against them for winning with all the tragedy they've been through. Paul McGurr last year and the Omagh bomb this year. And nice gesture by Laois again, clapping them off the field, and of course Sonia O'Sullivan early on the field, that was special as well. But the football was fantastic, and good football by both sides, played in good spirit. There wasn't a foul stroke in the whole game, and it was a victory for scoring forwards in the end.
And I thought it was a great day for the ordinary spectator, because the atmosphere, I think, before the game was absolutely fantastic. And you know, Galway are going to get all the credit, but I think Kildare have made this a very, very special year. And you know, they have won all the big wars and now lost the final battle, and they're going to go home very sad. But they have made a major contribution to this year. I think what has happened in the end is their scoring difficulties came back to plague them. They've had difficulty getting beyond 10, 11, 12 points, and today that really, I suppose, was their downfall, because Galway have, in all the games so far this year, created a lot of chances. And on the one big day when they needed them, they started to post over points from all over the field. But it was a great day. It was a great day for the GAA in general, I think. Yeah, well, I thought some of the scores and some of the passages of play today was a joy to watch. Going through the match then, Tony, there's one man that you want to talk about first off.
Yes, I suppose I'll start off in goal with Martin Mack. I thought he had a superb game today, and a fellow really that was much maligned a couple of years ago, even by us here in the programme, but he's really stuffed it up to all the critics that he had. And some of his kick-outs today were fantastic, and maybe we'll show off some of them there here today. What he did with the kick-outs, they had the signals worked out perfectly, and Sean O'Donnell and Kevin Walsh at midfield made the run for him, made the space. And here we can see, out the left wing, very good kick-out to Kevin Walsh. And it's very important for midfielders to make space for Martin to kick those balls out. And here's another very good ball out. Paul Clancy making space for him. But it's very important for a keeper to have people running off the ball. And I'll just contrast that with Christy Byrne in goal. In the first half, Kildare were finding Dermot early. That's the route they had all year. But in the second half, when they were in trouble, they had to punt it out the middle of the field. Jaff Allen, Kevin Walsh, Sean O'Donnell, Sean Dupuer won a lot of breaking ball out there. And I think Martin Mack had a huge contribution, both in the semi-final and in the final today for Galway.
And yet, Colin, if you were a Galway person watching this match at home at half-time, you wouldn't have gone putting on the kettle full of confidence at that stage, because Kildare in the first half had taken up where they'd left off against Kerry and Meath and Dublin and so forth before that. Yes, Michael, Kildare, after a fairly ropey opening 10 minutes, seemed to have dominated the rest of the first half and really were in a winning position at half-time. They completely turned the screws on Galway in that last 25 minutes of the first half, and they did so with a traditional style of football. They got away from their short passing at times and got the ball in long, and when they did so, they were winning inside. Glenn Ryan, who had a great first half, again, just puts a ball in there. Martin Lynch gets up. Willie McCreary feeds it off, and it's an easy task for Dermot Early. Willie McCreary, of course, obviously, Sean O'Donnell hadn't covered back on him at that stage. And again, a long ball. Just kick it in. The ball is broken out.
Declan Kerrigan an easy point. And Kildare at this stage were making football look very, very simple. Again, Niall Buckley putting the ball in, Pádraig Raven comes across, quick pass to Carlo Dwyer and over the bar. And at that stage, you know, you would say that Kildare were very much in the driving seat of this game, seemed to be winning in all the important positions around at the middle of the field. So whatever John O'Mahony put in the tea at half-time or whatever he said to his troops, it certainly made a big difference, because when Galway came out for the second half, they were a team transformed.
Tony, let's talk about the contrast between the sort of the popular trend, I guess, in Gaelic football at the moment, sort of short passing games that a lot of teams play,
right,
and never sort of playing a percentage ball, dodgy ball, to the way that Galway played today.
I think Galway played the long ball better today than Kildare did, and I'm a great believer in a long ball. The quicker you can get the ball into the scoring area, the better. Here we can see Kevin Walsh beating his man, taking one soul, and that's the place to kick a ball. Out to the wing to Jaff Fallon. Now, Jaff Fallon was going well at this stage in the game. He had a look at Glenn Ryan, took him on the inside, and that's a point for an All-Ireland final. They're the time things you dream of scoring an All-Ireland final, and Jaff Fallon took it well. There's another very good ball up along the wing to Moss Mannion, up to Savage. Another good ball into the middle to Pádraig Joyce. Beats his man, and nothing on his mind but a point and straight over the bar. Simple, direct football, very hard to counteract it as a defender. John Diffley, a quick ball in again. Michael Donlan, first time, and dances around the goalkeeper, no chance, and great goal. Great goal to grace any All-Ireland final. Took it very, very well. Went around the keeper and made sure.
Well, those were obviously, Colin, special moments for Galway football. There were other special moments as well that you've highlighted and put together for us.
Yes, there was a lot of very special displays, and there were some wonderful scores that we had in the game. But I think Galway won due to a lot of the good tackling that they did. Here we have Niall Finnegan, Jaff Allen and Sean O'Donnell putting both Glenn Ryan and Niall Buckley under pressure, and eventually a good old-fashioned shoulder from O'Donnell and winning possession. And Galway did that very well. They put a lot of pressure on the Kildare man in possession and forced them into mistakes. Sean DePere getting back, getting a block, Ray Silk then to Tommy Mannion, and then when Galway got the ball, they were able to move it out very, very fast and stop the blanket Kildare defence. I think this is the point of the year. Tomas Mannion, who had a wonderful game at left cornerback, on to the Rolls Royce himself, Michael Donlan, gives the ball to Kevin Walsh, and look at him going on to get the ball back, takes it on the run. He's left everybody in his wake. Sauce Dowling left a long way behind, knows he's going to be blocked by Eddie McCormack, gives the ball to Derek Savage, and then crossfield pass, and that's an absolutely uplifting point for any team to see that coming from one end of the field to the other. John Dively is half blocked there by Declan Kerrigan, and now this is an absolutely fantastic point again. Michael Donlan leaving Sauce Dowling, a strange decision maybe putting Sauce Dowling on the fastest player in the team. Probably should have been Rainbow to start with him, and Donlan had quite a bit of damage done when they changed him across. And I suppose again, you know, in an All-Ireland final, if you want something special, well, there it is. 2 steps up and bang straight over the middle of the bar. You know, really made for a very special All-Ireland with some of those moments.
Anything Maurice Fitz can do, I can do as well. Tony, briefly and in a few words about Kildare. I mean, they've contributed so much to the championship this summer.
Fantastic. I think it was a fairy tale for them right up to the start, and it is heartbreaking for them. Their supporters have been excellent. Even after the game today, they were congratulating Galway, and magnanimous in defeat. Made it very special for them all the way through, but they just didn't get over that final hurdle. It must be heartbreaking for them. But there is a future for Kildare football, but they'll have to find a few more scoring forwards.
OK, well now, we've heard the view of the panel, we've been to the Kildare camp, but now it's time to join the victorious Galway team with their families, their friends and their well-wishers in the Burlington Hotel. And there too are Marty Morrissey and Ger Canning.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, the fields of Athenry stretch all the way as far as the Burlington Hotel tonight. 800 jubilant, celebrating Galwegians are here. They're having a fantastic party, and of course, this old friend Sam is on his way back across the Shannon tomorrow afternoon. And along with the Sam Maguire, the course also have the club title won last St. Patrick's Day by Curra Finn. With me here I've got Ray Silk, the captain this afternoon, and John O'Mahony. First of all, Ray, what a year for you, the Sam and of course the club title as well.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, and the common denominator in both is that there's been a panel of 30 with both Curra Finn and here now with Galway, and we're very lucky in that we had a good management team on both occasions as well, so it's been fantastic. Yeah, 98 has been fairly good. Some of the lads are saying I should retire.
That was a great old speech you made at the end. I think you thanked everybody bar the man who drove the train.
Well, when no Galway person or a Connacht person has got to speak for 32 years, you have to put a fair few people in there.
They weren't trying to wind you up at the end there.
Well, you get a few hacks that are given out. Maybe, you know, they want to put you in boxes and say what you should or shouldn't say. Like, but I think one of the good things about Gaelic football is they're going to do their own thing anyway.
Well, it was a fantastic year for you personally. And John, it must be your proudest moment. You can hear what they think.
I'm absolutely proud and privileged to be among all the Galway people tonight. It's a victory for Galway and it's a victory for Connacht football, and I'm absolutely delighted for each and every one of them. It's not my victory, it's everybody's victory here tonight.
Your preparation inevitably and always is meticulous. But they tell me that your wife Geraldine also plays a very full part. Good with the tactics, I believe.
She's the real manager. No, I mean, there's a whole lot of people in the background. Nowadays, this game is so scientific and that there's a whole lot of people in the background. And really all my job is to coordinate the whole thing. And a lot of people would have said to me what I said at half-time or what I said last night at a team meeting. Really, all of the work has been done by a whole myriad of people over the last 5 weeks for this. And you know, I'm delighted that everyone here tonight and all the people that couldn't get tickets for here tonight and all the people that couldn't get tickets for the match today, it's their victory, it's no individual's victory, it's to be shared by everybody, and I'm absolutely thrilled for each and every one of them.
You must have been thrilled also with the start to the second half. At one stage I began to think to myself, is Hurricane George blowing in behind these fellas?
Well, I suppose in every game there are periods when it's going for you and there's periods when it goes against you. We had a sticky period, I suppose, for 10 or 15 minutes before half-time, but, you know, I knew and the players knew what they had to do, and they did it fantastically. And again, as Ray has said earlier on, there are 30 players out there today, really, as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, they have worked hard. We started training on the 10th of September. We had a team meeting on the 10th of September last year. I'm proud and privileged to be part of this. It's a great night for, we'll say, the schools that has produced them, the clubs that has produced them, all the people that has trained them down the years, both at club and county level, and also for the county board and everybody involved. It's all of their victory, and I'm absolutely thrilled for each and every one of them.
Well done, John. Ladies and gentlemen, John O'Mahony and Ray Silk. Marty.
Certainly, we were just remarking here, the boys here beside me and myself, that must be the biggest round of applause given to a Mayo man by the people of Galway ever. And as they say in the song, that's only just the beginning, because I'm sure the welcome home tomorrow night will be something special. Joining me here are two of the latest members of an All-Ireland winning team, Martin McNamara and Tomas. And certainly, it should be remarked upon how wonderful the Galway defence was right throughout this championship, and particularly their goalkeeper, Martin McNamara. Great save again today.
Well, I've been lucky enough all year, but today when things are going bad for you, putting on the old bit of weight and the ball head and all, you know, you have to, any shot that comes at you, you have to make it look as good as you can, you know.
So that leap you're saying was not quite necessary. You had it sussed all the time. You just wanted to show off.
Not at all. I just moved over one step over the rim back again, you know. I'd look.
Now, there was great concern here at the Burlington that the Galway team were late in arriving, but there was a story behind that, actually.
There was, all right. I lost my bag, and there was a lot of different things in it. But I was telling the lads that I was going packing the game in this year anyway, kind of getting too old and whatever. And I was going to throw the bag in the liffey. So I said that some of my backs have caught the bag and thrown in the liffey for me. So.
It's been a remarkable year, though, for you and indeed for Tomas, because you were a forward, now a very important member of this Galway defensive lineup.
Yeah, I think I played in every position in the field, bare goalie, maybe next year, Mac. We'll see how it goes.
You're welcome.
I was playing wing back last year, and this year John decided to move back in the corner. I wasn't too happy for the first 2 games, but I settled in then after that and got stuck with it. Like.
Well, certainly your display today at cornerback was crucial because you were on a most important member of the Kildare lineup, Martin Lynch.
Yeah, Martin's a very good player. Some days the ball runs for you and other days they don't, and today the ball ran for me, didn't run for him, but I know Martin, he'll be back, and hopefully they'll win in Ireland in the next few years. Just
try and describe, because I can see the reaction here in the hotel, but down in Galway, around County Galway, what is this victory going to mean to the people?
Oh, that's great. I'm the last 10 years playing, and there's nothing only bad defeats, so everyone, the sport this year was unreal. I know this will bring on football in Galway immense, you know.
Well, Tomas and Martin McNamara, congratulations and well done today. And we'll go back to Michael Lester.
We will, thank you indeed, Marty. Yes, celebrations in full swing in the Burlington Hotel then, and celebrations in full swing, obviously, around Galway tonight as well. None more so than in Tuam, the heart of the football territory in the county, and tonight buzzing with excitement, as Eileen Magnier can now confirm, I'm sure.
Here in Tuam, such a stronghold of Galway football, the elation of today's victory is giving way to anticipation of tomorrow night's homecoming, when the Sam Maguire will cross the Shannon for the first time in 32 years. No doubt it'll be slow progress before the cup finally reaches Tuam town for the big official welcome home. But after more than 3 decades, a few more hours will make no difference, because the party has started already and there's no sign of it ending for a long time to come.
Well, a few people have taken a bit of time out here from the party to talk to us about the match. They've got the Sam Maguire here already, but it came from a very unexpected source. Where did it come from?
Yes, it came across the border from Kilmaine and County Mayo, which we had custom made for 96 and 97 unsuccessful trips to Croke Park. But we're delighted to see that Galway are taking their part in bringing the Sam across the Shannon this year, and we wish Mayo the best of luck next year. We sympathise with Kildare.
You were in Croke Park today. What was it like?
Fantastic, and I was proud to be there from Tuam.
There's a lot of famous footballers from around the Tuam area. You must be a very proud lady here.
It's absolutely brilliant. You have no idea what it's going to do for the town of Tuam and the surrounding areas, and just for Galway, just for a county, and for Connacht. I mean, it's just going to go on. Celebrations are just going to go on forever and ever.
Roll on Mayo! Roll on Mayo! There's a man over here who's celebrating already. You were in Croke Park today.
Croke Park today. It was fabulous. Great for Galway. 32 years is a long, long time. I'm pretty hoarse now, but Tuam lads did us proud today. And Jeff Allen did us proud. We're very, very proud of him. And the Ballinasloe who had sympathies with the 83 teams.
Well, as Ballinasloe having been in school here in St. Jarlath for 5 years, I regard myself as kind of an honorary sham. My 2 brothers played in 83, and they're in the Burlington tonight. And I'm sure this has taken away some of the misery of 83, certainly. And I'm so happy for Galway.
There'll be no misery here for the next week.
And Carrarua and their contribution to the Galway team today. And in fact, Ger Canning is talking to 2 of those gentlemen now.
Still looking on the bright side. Oh, not disappointed at all. The best team won. We're happy enough to get the Leinster. We won the Leinster. That was very good to get the Leinster after 70 years. I mean, it was a good team that won. The only thing is, there's no wedding tomorrow with Lily and Sam, but...
You were at the game. I know you were at the game yourself. Did the hype all get to the players at the end of the day?
I think maybe it did. We were all totally behind them, and it just didn't turn out on the day. They played their best in the end, but maybe next year we'll be back.
I know it was going very well up to half-time. You must have been confident at that stage.
I was very confident, yeah. I thought they were playing really well, and I was sure they could win it at that stage, you know. Well, I thought the changes in the team beforehand, I thought would hinder them a bit, but I was sure they were playing well at half-time, and I thought they'd go on to win the match, you know.
There was, of course, a couple of changes necessary before the game. Ronan Quinlan didn't play, even though we were told he would start. You were disappointed with that?
Well, I was, but I wasn't, because I knew John Finn was a full-back with his club. I knew he'd be good, you know, sturdy enough, like. He didn't really let us down either, you know what I mean, like that and all, so it's happy enough in a weird way, like, he had a few mistakes there and there, but just, we're only human, you know, you do the best, like, but it's happy enough.
So looking back at the end of the year, it's been a very long year for Kildare for us. What are you going to take out of the year? I know there's disappointment tonight throughout the county.
No, we're not disappointed, no, not a bit disappointed, no. We've had a great year. We got longer than Dublin, Kerry, Louth, Meath, you can go through the rest of the counties, we got longer than any of them. Great summer, great year.
Some of the players may be watching this at their hotel. What's your message to them?
keep it up. We're looking forward to seeing them back tomorrow, and thanks for a very good year.
Brave faces all round then, but perhaps the disappointment of this All-Ireland defeat will only sink in tomorrow when Mick O'Dwyer and his panel of players return from Dublin in the afternoon. The central theme here would appear to be so much progress has been made in 1998. And perhaps, in the words of the famous son of County Kildare, Christy Moore, this team and its manager may continue to ride on.
Yes, nice report there from Kieran Malooly. But now here on the Sunday Game, it's time for us to name our man of the match from this year's final. And his and her gold watches as well. So who does it go to? Well, the decision was not easy, was it, Colin O'Rourke?
No, it certainly was not easy. I think it was one of the decisions that we pondered for quite a while and had a complete relook at the match before we decided finally who it was. If it was half-time and you stopped the match, you'd say it was going to be a Kildare man. At that stage, Glenn Ryan and Niall Buckley were the two best players probably on the pitch, and only on the Galway side in the first half, Tomás Mannion and Michael Donlan were really the two men who were putting it up to them. But then, you know, the second half changed around so much. It was quite a dramatic turnaround, and then you had all the heroes on the Galway side: Martin McNamara, Sean DePuer, Kevin Walsh, practically everybody. But in the final analysis, it came down to a decision between Tomás Mannion, who had an absolutely fantastic match at cornerback, Jeff Allen, who just came to life and did things that everybody dreams about doing in Croke Park and All-Ireland Day. But the Man of the Match award for me this year was from a man who's third generation of All-Ireland medal winners. I suppose maybe the Sadler's Wells of Gaelic football in that line, from the 30s, from his grandfather to the 60s, and now to the 90s. Man of the Match for 1998 All-Ireland final, Michael Donlan.
Can we have Michael